Data is the key, and data needs storage. Storage needs databases, and fast access storage needs in memory databases. Welcome everyone on this particular video on introduction to Redis database and in-memory key value database. I have personally used Redis not only for storing in-memory data, but also for many other purposes like using it as a message queue, storing transactional data, storing session information, as well as storing the logs before ultimately writing onto disk. And all of the things which I mentioned to you, Redis is a go-to choice for me. But hold on, I am not asking you to use Redis if you are creating these kind of applications. I am here to tell you about Redis so that you can take an informed decision whether you can use Redis in the application you are creating or not. Because in the world where we have hundreds of databases, I recently saw a list of close to 300 databases that are there. It is extremely difficult for everyone to look into each and every database and understand what they are capable of doing. But it's equally important for all of us to know about the well known databases so that, when it comes to taking a decision, we can at least take the decision with the options. So, what I'm going to do today is that I'm going to give you a brief introduction to Redis database and what are the data types it supports so that you are aware of what Redis can do for you, and then you can evaluate at your own end. So, welcome again to this particular video on Redis, and Redis is a key value store. Okay, you will have a key and the associated value. And Redis supports multiple data types. I'm going to talk about 5 data types over here, and I'm going to show you the demo of all these 5 data types. These are not the only ones. There are other data types also, but if you cannot make use of one of these 5, maybe you will have to question whether you can use Redis or not. If this is not the case, maybe you can use it for maybe for vector database or for an specific use case like geolocation search. But general uses will be difficult, and that's why I have selected these 5 data types. And these 5 data types are string, list, set, sorted set, and hash. Let's start with the basic type string. Okay, so string data type is again a key value pair, but it's binary safe. What is the meaning of binary safe? It means that the key as well as value can be a binary data. So you can take your JPEG file or some other files written in the binary format and store it as a key value pair. And if you look into some of the commonly used functions, the good thing is that most of the functions are constant time as long as you are dealing with single key value. Of course, with multiple key values, you will have OL complexity. So let's see the code how to use Redis to create the string data type. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show the Redis to you in command line. I'm not using any programming language deliberately because you may or may not be aware with the programming language which I'm going to use. So first, what I'm trying to do is that I'm uh, starting the instance of Redis server in my local machine. You can see that Redis started. And in here, I'm starting Redis client. And I can say ping pong, which means my client is up and running. And in here, I can create, key value pairs. So as of now, I don't have any keys or I have one key H1. So let me delete H1. Okay, so I don't have any key and I can start afresh. Okay, so if you want to create a simple key value pair, you just use set. Let's say key as key1, value as v1. That's all. If you say key star, you can get the keys. Similarly, you can create a key K2, value as V2. Okay. You can also set multiple keys with M set like K3, V3, K4, V4. And if I go ahead and look into my keys, I have 4 keys as of now. Okay. And I can get the keys value with, K1 or With M gate, I can get K1, K2, K3, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing which is generally helpful in managing a session timeout is that you can create a key with a timer. So I can create a key with K5, V5 with some timer. Let's say EX 10 seconds. Okay. Now, if I see TTL of K5, it's 7, 5, 4, and after 10 seconds, the key will be lost. Okay, now it's 0. Minus 2 is that this key is no longer there. I can actually set this particular key again. There is another command called PTTL, which gives you the time in milliseconds, might be useful for you in your own conditions. Okay, and you can delete the key by just giving the key, or you can say flush all to get rid of all the keys that are there. So string is the simplest possible, and some of the use cases which we have just seen. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation and see the next data type. The next data type is list, and list is one of the most important data type if you are gonna make use of Redis. Okay, so list is sorted by insertion order. It maintains the insertion order, and you can add or remove data from the head and the tail. Okay, and some of the command which we are gonna use in list are given here. The good thing is that inserting data and removing data is a constant time operation. And of course, looking into all the data will take on plus a s. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the list. So right now there are no keys, right? Let me create a list. You just say L push and you can create the list. You can say K1, or let's say L1, element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and if you see, you have a key name L1, and if you want to see the contents of this particular key, you need to use L range K1 start index and end index. Sorry, it's L1. Okay, and if you do not know the index, you can just say 0 to -1. It will give you everything. Now if you want to push something, again, if you do L push L1 10, L push means it is going to push on the head, which means 10 will be there in the top. So let me do L range, 10 will be at the top. If you do R push, let's say 0, L1 0, it will be added at the tail. Similarly, if you say L pop, you know, L1, the head of the list will be removed. And if you say R pop, the tail of the list will be removed. Okay, so this is the usage of list. And if you just want to get rid of all the keys, flush all. Now we don't have any key in here. Okay. So this is the list data type. So as you can see from the string and the list, it's simple, it's not complicated, and its simplicity helps you in writing your program in such a way where you can make use of it in the best possible way. Let's go back to the presentation and see the next data type. The next data type is set. Set is something similar to mathematical set. It's an unordered collection. It's not ordered. Okay, you can add data, again remove data, and test for the existence in the constant time. And just like mathematical sets, you can do union, intersection, and differences. These are some of the set commands that we are going to make use of and see how it works. Okay, so let's go back to my Redis console. So irrespective of the data type, Redis will always be key value. So to add a set, I'll say sadd key, and member could be 1, 4, 6, 8, something like that. And to see the members, we have to say s members, the key. We'll see all the members in the key K1, all the set members. You can also check the existence of member by using S each member in key K1. Do we have member called 1? If it is 1, that means it is there. If 0, it is not there. And let's create one more set. So let's move number 1 to K2. Also move number 4 to K2. So if you see S members K2, S members K2, it has 1 and 4. Okay, and K1 has 6 and 8. Both of them are having unique values. Let me just add S add in K1. Let me add 4. So that there is at least one item that is common. Just to show you the intersection between two sets. So if I can say S inter K1, K2, you can see the common values that is there. And you can remove the key from the set by saying S pop K1. That's all. Some random item will be removed from the key. Or you can say srem k1 and let's say 1. If it is there, it will be removed. Otherwise, it will not be removed. I don't think. 1 is there in the 1 is there in the k1. Maybe 6 is there. Remove 6. We'll get 6 out of here. No, I think 6 is already removed. So 8. You can remove 8. So right now k1 is empty. Now again, let me flush all. You saw the set, right? No keys are present. Clear. Now you have seen the set also. Let's go back to the presentation to see the next data type, which is uh, sorted set. So as the name suggests, sorted set, it's very similar to set. So basically what sorted set does is that it is sorted based on a score. And the score is not calculated automatically. The score is what you provide. Okay. And just like set, you can add the data and do all the operations. So let's go back and add a sorted set. So set we used to add using a command sadd. For sorted set, it's zadd. So what you do is that let's say create ss sorted set. I want to give a score 10 to A, 20 to B, 30 to C, let's say 5 to B. I have these 4 items inserted in the set. So this will be stored in the sorted order based on the score that is given. And there are multiple applications. I can't tell you how many applications are there where you can make use of, it just any production code. You need to score your results in some way or other because you do not want to bombard your client with one results all the time. So, just to see the data, you can say 0 to -1. You can see number 1 is D because its score is lowest. D is 5, then A, B, and C. Okay. And you want to see data with scores, you can say with scores. You can see D is 5, A is 10, B 20, and C is 30. And the good thing about this is that you can actually increment the score of any particular, element. So let's say jet increment key is increment by 10, or let's say increment by 100 D. Okay, done. So D become 105 because it was 5. And you can see that the storage is changed actually. The sequence is changed, not the storage. Sorry. Now D goes back to the end and A comes at the first position. So this is how sorted set can be used to sort your data with a particular score. A score you will determine based on whatever condition that suits you. So let's go back to the presentation and see the last data type, which is hash. Hash is, I think all of us, all software developers know what is the meaning of hash. Okay, it's the creation of some numerical data based on the contents that is out there. You can create hashes, but the hashes take something called field and value. And as usual, the benefit of hash is that it's a constant time retrieval operation. Okay. So here are the commands sset, hgetall, hget, hexist, hlen, hmget. By now, you might have got a gist of the naming convention of the Redis commands. Let's go ahead and see the hashes. So let me just get rid of all the keys. Okay, now let me create a hash. Let's say HS. So what is this field? Many field could be, you can just treat field value as a key value pair, but many a time when you create some object kind of structure, for example, name, that's, profession, programming, or salary, let's say 200K. Okay, so I've created a H set. So first I can say HK top, the key, H- HS. You can say it gets everything, but we can get based on the field value also. So we can say HK name, key name, HK key profession, HK key salary. Okay. So this is how you are going to make use of hashes. So these are the five basic data types I wanted to share with all of you because it gives you a broader idea on what Redis is capable of and what you can do with it. And armed with this information, you can take an informed decision whether you want to use Redis in the work you are doing or not. I do hope and believe that this video was helpful to all of you. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.